What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the brand new rebuild that is going to be Borussia Mönchengladbach, a very highly suggested rebuild and one I'm looking forward to do. If you know me personally, I love the Bundesliga and I love it as a league. It's really fun to watch, and today we're going to give ourselves 5 seasons to take this team, hopefully, to Bundesliga champions, and if we can, along the way, pick up a cheeky Pokal, a cheeky Super Cup, anything like that we'll happily take. Let's get into the game, but first, if you have got a second, please do leave a like, subscribe to the channel and comment right now 1 to 2 teams what you want to see get the daily FM rebuild. Let's get into today's. So, this is going to be Borussia Mönchengladbach inside of Football Manager. They are a decent team, obviously predicted to finish in 11th place in that first season, so that is a little bit worrying. But of course, 3.5-star reputation, 3.5-star training, the same when it comes to the youth. Really bad youth recruitment. The balance of this club is not the best, I will be honest. It's one of the things I'm going to struggle with a little bit in this video is you are limited to money, so I might go down a more of a free agent sort of sign-up path because you don't have that much money to play with. Now, I will say, as a team, their history, they've actually got quite a fair bit. So 5 Bundesliga titles, 2 Europa Leagues, 3 Pokals, 1 Bundesliga 2, and 1 German Regional Div West. Now, as you can see, it has taken a little bit of a decline over recent years, but that is why they brought me in, to get the job done and get things firing. Now, if you are going to start this save off back at home, you are going to have a total of 2.5 million, and I will say, just speaking from experience with the German League, there's not always the most money to spend, unless you are as one of the top teams. So a team like this, I'm expecting to usually get, you know, maybe 25 million pounds a window from this point onwards, which isn't always the most when you're trying to bring in some, you know, quite a few decent players. But speaking of decent players, we have got some in our team. The first one, of course, is going to be Plea. Now, he might not be a player who you class as a decent player, but for this level of football and for this team, he's actually going to be one of our star players. Again, he is 30 years of age, so he's not going to last forever, but he offers a decent sort of option up front or on the left-hand side, so he is definitely going to get game time. A player we can all agree on that is a really good player is going to be Manu Kone, a player who I genuinely think is going to get poached in real life. He's absolutely incredible, perfectionist personality at the age of 22, incredibly well-rounded, currently on holiday and injured at the moment. He's actually injured between 10 days and 5 weeks, so we'll see what happens there. Hopefully he can recover. He's a good Bundesliga player with the opportunity to become a star player, and again, on that amount per week, he's going to want a new contract pretty soon. We've got other good players as well. I know Vob is actually one of my personal favourites. I sign him whenever I do previous rebuilds, previously of Leeds and Salzburg. A very solid centre-back option. Not the quickest, but very solid at the back. Can get the job done. Decent passing. Good leadership quality. So someone I'm definitely going to implement at the back. At the moment, it's recommended him playing left-back. I do prefer him in the middle, so we are going to have a little look. I don't believe Scally's too bad either at right-back. Again, nothing incredible, but we'll get the job done. One of the better right-backs in the Bundesliga, and we've got a bench which consists of, you got the likes of Herman. I mean, nothing too great. The bench is quite limited. Of course, you have got, where have I missed him? This lad, Luca Netz. He develops very differently over every save. He's either really good or he's abysmal. Hopefully for us, he's really good because we could do with a young, talented left back. But let's get in to the first season. Of course, we are playing simply in 2, the Bundesliga and the Pokal. Where do they think we're going to finish? They are predicting a finish of 8th place. I think we can match that. Let's get into it. The Bundesliga has finished, and I am absolutely thrilled. I am buzzing. A 3rd place finish in the first season, meaning it is going to be Champions League football, which is the only downside. And you might be saying, Josh, downside? Are you all right? It's because what I mean by that, we are now going to be playing in the toughest competition in Europe, and we're not quite there in terms of money. Now, I don't know how much we've been given, but we need big money to go and sign big players for the big competition. There's a lot of bigs coming in. We need to make sure we've got a big budget. I don't know how much we've got. I'm scared to look, but that's a really solid season. Unfortunately, it was a stinker in the Pokal, knocked out in the second round by FC Nuremberg, a team who are in the Bundesliga 2. They finished 10th. That is absolutely shocking. It really is. But overall, a very strong initial season, a 3rd place finish, and I don't want to look. I'm going to look. Okay, it's okay. 35 million's a decent amount of money. Is it going to be enough to do well in the Champions League? No, not at all. Not a single chance we're getting far in the Champions League. But we can bring in 1 to 2 sort of really good quality players here, or 1 star player. So we are going to have a little look. Of course, we have got to look at the stats, and I have changed the formation a little bit, just in terms of player roles, etc., etc. Whack the lineup a little bit. And as you can see, it's going to be our right back, come right winger. That is going to be Honorat coming in, who, by the way, doesn't look too bad. He's only 27, so we can have a couple couple more seasons out with him. He picks up 15 goals, 8 assists. Plea picks up 13 goals, 3 assists. Then it drops down to 7, 6, 5. So in terms of goals, there is a big worry where these goals are coming from. And the assists, of course, aren't going to look great either because there isn't that many goals going in. So you can't really blame them because we're not scoring the goals. But Manu Kone enjoying a decent season. He's developing somewhat. But overall, I'm going to say an average season in terms of pure stats from the players. But in terms of a pure league point, I'm not going to complain. As you can see here, the third best to third best, we finished third. We are pretty much on track for where we are in the league. I'm not going to complain at all. The only real disappointment, of course, is going to be that Pockle. Now, going into the second transfer window with £35 million, you can argue we can strengthen everywhere. The midfield might be one of the last options I sort of go to because it is quite good. Maybe strengthen the back line a little bit. Our goalkeeper, we've not even discussed in Omlin. He's a good Bundesliga player, so for now I am going to keep him. He's doing his job. Maybe Plea, he's not going to last us forever. Maybe another winger comes in. There's options everywhere. Let's go into the second transfer window, see if anyone we can sell, pick out the older players and get rid of them. Let's get into it. The king of installments has come back once again and is brought in a personal favourite. That is going to be Mbomo, coming in from Brentford, obviously from the toughest league in the world. He's going to instantly become a leading Bundesliga player. He is close to his full potential, but this potential is fine for me. He'll get into the team right away on the left-hand side. He's on £83,000 a week, and he set me back 51 million. Turn to Sparta Prague, we pick up Ladislav, a player who is very versatile between centre-back and the DM role, incredibly well-balanced, and to be fair, could get into the team right off the bat at centre-back, which would be quite interesting to see. He's on £44,000 a week, a leading Bundesliga player, and he sent me back 11 million. And lastly, we turn over to Leeds and pick up Pascal Struijk. Again, a good Bundesliga player. He did cost me a little bit more because you are signing from England, and usually they get the English tax, you know. They really do put a lot of money on when you sign a player from England, whether that be in the Championship, the Premier League, wherever it is, you're getting charged a fee. And at the end of the day, I've always liked this guy in Football Manager. He seems to be really solid and performs above what his attributes actually say. So I wanted to get him into this team, see what he can offer. He might not even get into the team right away, but he's a very solid backup option. But again, you do pay more for players like this at £33.5 million, and he's on £70,000 a week. Now, of course, going over to the tactics, we are going to look at the team right now. And as you can see, changes are going to be made. So it is going to be Omlin, Scally. We're going to have Ikatara at the back. We're going to have, I'll do want to butcher it, Ladislav at centre-back. We've got Nets, we've got Weigl, we've got Kone, we've got Neyhouse, we've got Honorat, we've got Mbomo, and we've got Plea up front. Now, this team, don't get me wrong, it is by no means going to win the league, and I will say that with full chest. It is no means going to win the Champions League. I don't even think it's going to win the Pockle, but I'm hoping we can maintain the top four. The point is, we got Champions League football, it's fantastic, it brings money into the club, but we're not quite ready for it in terms of the team we've got. So the main aim is to obviously do okay in the Champions League, ideally get past a phase, and even if we get knocked out in a round of 16, do somewhat decent. The Pockle I'd like to obviously do a lot better than last year, but the Bundesliga, the main aim is to finish in this top four, and they are predicted a finish of 5th place, which is crazy because they have shot us up 3 places in one season. That never usually happens. So let's get into season number 2 and see exactly what Josh Daly can do. Well, a big improvement in the Pockle as we are going to get to the final on this occasion. We'll speed things up because there is a few goals to go through, and as you can see, Bayern Munich are going to start off the goal scoring in quite easy fashion inside of 16 minutes, and you guessed it, Bayern Munich go through again and they get another goal. Davies inside of the 47th minute through to Gnabry, who simply gets too much time on the ball and levers it in to the bottom left-hand corner, and you guessed it, Bayern Munich score again. Musiala go through into Palacios, into Davies, so much space, so much composure on the ball there to make it 3-0. We do bounce back with a goal here. Good play through the middle, into reach, through into the main up front, and that is going to be a fantastic finish down the middle of the goal, but unfortunately for us, we get humiliated. Koeman, Palacios, into Goretzka, into Sane, in the left, cuts inside, into Koeman, we lose 4-1. Exactly what I wanted in the Champions League, getting to the round of 16, but we lose 7-3 on aggregate. I don't want to talk about it. But, and a big but, we actually maintain 3rd place in the Champions League, which I'm going to take because we have got to a final, we've done okay in the Champions League, and we've maintained a top 4 place, which technically now means we are a top 4 team. We've done it back-to-back seasons. You can't really complain at that. Plea is the top goal scorer, which is a really good sign, and Mbomo comes in and picks up the most assists. So anyone that's wondering, Josh, why do you spend so much money? Money buys football. It really, really does. And Mbomo, 16 assists. That is an instant return for him as a player. Going into the next season, we'll do the stats first because it's a little bit interesting and a little bit spicy. 28 goals coming in for Plea. That is a remarkable season. And Mbomo with 23. We're going to have Grunkara coming in with 10. We've got 9 coming in for Honorat. We've got Neuhaus coming in with 8. We've got Kone with 7. It's a little bit better. We've actually got some players inside of the 20s now. 2 players in the 20s. And by the way, Mbomo might actually be the best player of the season. He's already going to be wanted by Chelsea and Bayern, which is going to be very hard to keep him. But hopefully we can lure him on a bigger contract, because he probably was our best player. In fact, he was definitely our best player. Luka Netz, though, 13 assists, having a better season. 11 coming in for Neuhaus as well. Kone with 9. 8 for Honorat. Weigl with 6 as well. He's a player who I don't usually go for. I don't want him to do anything flash. I don't need him to get goals or assists. Just defend, and that's exactly what he does. So I'm never going to expect to see him up there in terms of the stats. As long as he does his job, that's fine by me. But this team is looking good. Like, don't get me wrong, the midfield now is looking pretty solid. The front three's looking okay. Plea isn't going to last us forever, though. We have got to remember. And to go into that third season, we have got a total of 33 million. So again, a very similar amount. It's not bad, but it's not bad, but it's hard to keep progressing with the same budget. You know, you've got to think now, we've gone into the Champions League, we've proved we can get past the phase, we're in the round of 16, we've got to a Pokal final, we're in the Champions League again, we clearly are strengthening season upon season. Why not give me 50, 60, 100, maybe not 100, 50 or 60 would have been nice, but let's get into the third transfer window. We'll be grateful we've got a penny. Let's get into it, see what we can happen. Gone big. Daily FM has gone big again, and I've got Cole Palmer, one of the hottest talents in the Premier League at the moment, a fantastic player. And when I say I had to sell this arm to get this lad into the team, I had to sell this arm and this arm. Honestly, everything I've had to put in to get in this player. I'll tell you how bad it was. We actually only could afford to bring him in, and then the next signing is going to be a free player. But he is literally got to be one of them players which maybe can take us to actually winning a final, or maybe getting past round of 16, pushing us up the Bundesliga table. You need to occasionally splash out on someone like this. You can't just sign average players all the time. You need to have that season where you really invest in one man to build this foundation on. And this is who we're going to go with. Cole Palmer, incredibly well-rounded, can play on the right, in the middle as well. Again, a good Bundesliga player, potential of leading, which he will instantly hit. I can guarantee that. Only 23 years of age. He cost me £70 million. So yes, a lot of it was done in instalments. Exactly about 55 million was done in instalments. He's on £120,000 a week, but what you get is what you pay. You get a baller. As I said, limited finances, but it doesn't mean limited options, because we go and pick up Regulion or Regulon, whatever you wish to say, and he is going to be a fantastic left-back. Tons of Premier League experience. You can see here, he's played for some really big teams. Tottenham, Brentford, United, Madrid, both Madrids and Sevilla. Some really big teams there. A good Bundesliga player, and we'll get into our team without a blink of an eyelid. £43,000 a week, and he cost us literally nothing. You cannot complain. Welcome. He comes from Spain. Let's get him in. The team now looks a little bit like this, so we are going to see right off the bat, new left back, new right wing, Plea and Bomo. This front three now is looking lethal. We love to see that. A good midfield, a good back line. Goalkeeper probably has what, maybe, actually he's still quite decent to be fair, so he can carry on playing for now. Maybe the next transfer window we are going to strengthen the wing back on the right a little bit potentially, maybe bringing some more depth into the midfield, but we are introducing some really big players, and naturally we are then releasing some of the starter players from last season onto the bench, making it pretty common sense. We've got better backup now as well. But of course we are going to be competing in the Bundesliga, the Champions League and the Pokal again, and they are predicted a finish of 5th place. I think that's the same as last year, unless I have instantly forgot where I've come from. I'm pretty sure that is where we predicted. So let's get in to the third season. I'm actually feeling probably delusionally confident, but I'm feeling very confident. Let's get into it. Come on, Palmer. Back to the Pokal final, and another absolute powerhouse in the final. That is going to be Borussia Dortmund. We got off to some great play there, and look at that from Regulon into Mbomo, through into the bottom right-hand corner, inside of the 17th minute. We then go again, 56 minutes on the clock. Regulon in the middle, into Weigl, into the middle, into Kone. He's going to drive inside and go alone and levers it into the top right-hand corner to make it 2. And there's time for one more. We actually are going to win this Pokal in 3-0 fashion. And Bomo into the... Oh, it would have been a penalty on the edge and tucks it into the top right. We win a trophy. And in terms of the Champions League, we do take a little bit of a fallback. You can see here in the knockout play round, or the knockout playoff round, should I say, we do lose to Bayern Munich. But as you probably got a sneak glimpse of, we are going to maintain that 3rd place in the Bundesliga, which is remarkable now. That is 3 seasons back-to-back, and we were literally... But what is that? If it's not goal difference and it's not points, is that head-to-head? We literally were tied pretty much to go into second place, buying a run in the league. They really, really are. Plea maintains the top goal scorer with second most clean sheets, which is really, really good to see. Weigl the most yellow cards. We might want to have a word with him. But overall, we are so consistent in this Bundesliga. It's really good to see. And going over to the stats, we all look as a team, we're the third and the second best. So we're pretty much doing what is expected as where we are finishing. Of course, that's not going to win you a league title, so we are going to have to still make some new signings. But going up to the goal scorers, I mean, the thing with Plea now is he is playing really well, don't get me wrong. He's currently injured at the moment for 6 to 9 weeks. His potential's going down. His ability's at 2-star, but he is scoring 33 goals in the season, but he is getting older. He might need replacing at this point. 13 for Cole Palmer, 12 assists, a decent entry season. And Bomo, 12 and 13. These two on the wings really doing their job quite well. 9 and 3, 9 and 7, 5 and 9, 4 and 8. Nothing to write home about past that point, really. But the downside about this is Plea is getting old. He's now easily going to be 32, 33. He has scored 30 plus goals in the season, so I'm not going to release him or anything, but I might bring someone younger in now to take over the stress of him, because he has done his job fantastically to the not even where I was expecting him to do so. He's outperformed me to a level I was not even imagining, but I don't think he can win me a Bundesliga title. I think Palmer can, I think Mbomo can, but let's just see what we can do, because we have been given a budget of 30 million. It's even less money than obviously what we got last season, but I have been using installments. They're probably taking that into fact, and I have noticed our financial status has gone from rich to okay. So this is what I do to teams. You don't give me the money up front, I'll use it in installments. I need money to play with. Call me Pep Guardiola. That's what I'm about. So let's get into the fourth transfer window. We've got countless areas we can strengthen. Maybe a new striker, a better backup goalkeeper who maybe can become first team, some more defensive options, better midfield options in terms of rotation. We're going to need a miracle, because we've got 30 million and we need like 5 new signings. Let's do it. Well, call me a penny pincher, because I'm going to have a ray of cheap and free signings to bolster this team, because I've looked over that last season, and the issue was mainly we had so many injuries, the backup options weren't really good enough. So I've gone more with, I don't want to say it, I don't want to insult the players, but I've gone more with quantity than quality in some aspects of this window. And the first player is going to be a mixture of both, of quality and quantity. That is going to be Demirel, a fantastic Turkish centre-half. Again, he's reasonably quick, great strength, 18 tackling on the free, £85,000. You'd have to be blind to not pick him up. For £8 million, we pick up our future goalkeeper and potential first team, if he performs. That is going to be Kovar, coming in from Bayer Leverkusen, weaken an opposition as well. £57,000 a week, a good Bundesliga goalkeeper, quite well rounded for the start of 26 years of age, who is quite young for a goalkeeper, and he sent me back only £8 million. Another freebie signing, and I cannot believe he's actually decided to leave on the free and come to us. He is on a fair bit of money per week compared to what other clubs are offering him. He's on £78,000 a week. That is going to be Joshua Zirkzee coming in, and he is going to be a player who, again, I will say, if you look at his attributes alone, you might think some areas a little bit weak, like his acceleration isn't past 15, but he looks very, very good in my opinion. He's got decent finish and decent composure, very good on the ball when it comes to the dribbling, good passing, good technique, he's just a really good all-round striker. The only bit I want to see a bit of an improvement in is going to be his pace, which we can work with, obviously, when it comes to the training. He's a leading Bundesliga striker. He's going to be the perfect replacement for Plea, and again, he cost me literally nothing. Completely on the free, and he's only on 78 grand a week, which in hindsight for him might be a lot of money, but overall for a leading Bundesliga striker, is it really that bad? I don't think so. Most expensive signing of this window so far, that is going to be Luka Susic coming in from Salzburg, a player I've signed before and I love signing because he is so versatile, can play in sort of central areas, attacking midfield areas, on the right, a little bit deeper on the right as well. He is so well rounded, he's very quick on the ball, he's got great dribbling, decent finishing for a player who, to be fair, you don't even really think about that when you think of him. You don't think of a great finisher, but he can do that. He's got that in his locker. Great off the ball, great vision, great technique as well. £79,000 a week, a leading Bundesliga player, and he cost me only £17.5 million. Some in installments, some up front. Potentially the biggest bargain of the episode, and I will say we only got him for this price because he's not developing that well in this save, but I think I can rescue him. That is going to be Enzo Malo. We know who he is. Previously a Stuttgart, you usually pay an arm and a leg for this guy. I have paid £10 million. That is because he's not been playing that well at Stuttgart, but I think I can get him into the team, develop him, turn him into that real star player he can become, because he is a baller if you can work with him. Lastly, the previous Leipzig man, that is going to be Solomon Bonnar, coming in from SK Austria. Klangenwert, is how you say that, a leading Bundesliga right back. Sorry if I ever butchered that. He is ridiculously quick. 17 acceleration, 16 pace, 12 tackling, which we can work on a little bit, but it's not the end of the world anyway. 16 positioning, so pretty much everything you would want from a right back. He can play left back as well, can even play as centre back, in midfield if you need to do so, but for us, he's obviously going to be playing at right back, and he sent me back only £13 million. So I will say, in terms of players we have brought in, we spent 23 million here, obviously some in instalment, some up front. In this window, we've spent, well, obviously Cole Palmer was done before. We spent 17, roughly what, like 25, and we've got a couple players there on the free. So, I mean, we have brought in a lot of players. You can see one player there going on the free, which isn't really the end of the world. We have brought in a lot of players, and the team is now going to look like this. So, it is going to be Omlin, Bonner, Demiral, Struijk, Regulon, Weigl, Kone, Suchik, and Bomo, Palmer, and Xerxes. This is a really strong team. A really, really strong team. A team that I think maybe potentially can challenge for the Bundesliga title, if not finish second quite comfortably. It can definitely win the Pokal again, and maybe get to the quarterfinals, semi-finals of the Champions League. I am really confident in the front three. The midfield's now a mixture of experience and youth. The defence is really, really strong, and we've got a really good goalkeeper option if Omlin gets injured or he doesn't perform. I am very confident, and we are playing now for the first time in 4 competitions. The Bundesliga, where they are going to predict a finish of 5th place again, is fair enough. The Champions League, the Pokal, and the Super Cup against Bayern Munich. Let's get into the 4th season. I'm hoping, and it's a big ask, I want to see at least a top 4 and another trophy. I know it's not to ask for back-to-back, but I think we can do it. Let's get into it. We're going to match up against Bayern in the Pokal final again to try and get revenge, but unfortunately, they got off to a bit of a blinder of a start there. A great ball and a great header from Goretzka, but we do not give up, and we have strengthened since we last played them, and we are going to get back into the game just before half-time, and it is going to be Suchik, an assist from Xerxes, a great goal from Suchik there, and now in the 51st minute, just after half-time, it's a bit of a scrappy one to get to this position, but Regulon ball in, and Cole Palmer, the star signing, the big money signing, paying off a bit of that transfer fee, as we are going to find ourselves 2-1 up, and what are they doing there? Xerxes is going to play it through into Suchik, and we are going to beat Bayern. Revenge. We appear to be cursed in the Champions League, as we literally finished the same place as last season, and it is going to be the knockout playoff rounds against Bologna on penalties. Absolute heartbreak. Super Cup Bayern beat us, so, you know, it's 1-1, but I would rather win the Pokal than that Super Cup, but it's a little bit annoying. It could have been an easy trophy to win, but, yeah. We have won the Bundesliga, the 4th season, we have won the title, and that is going to be an incredible achievement. And if you just feast your eyes on why we have won it, Xerxes, yeah. Cole Palmer, yeah. Suchik, yeah. Kovar, second most clean sheets, yeah. All of our signings have paid off big time. All of these star players in the team are contributing to the next level, and I've got to see right now who is picking up the goals, who isn't. 40 for Xerxes in his first season. Remarkable season. 23 for Cole Palmer. 19 for Suchik. What a signing. 11 for Mbomo. Assist-wise, we've got 18 for Mbomo. Palmer with 12. 11 for Suchik. Xerxes with 9. 8 for Regulon. Kone with 8. I will say Kone, he hasn't developed as much as what I thought he would, and he plays every single game, so it's a little bit disappointing. But what isn't disappointing is what we have achieved as a team. I mean, realistically, we have gone from, being 3rd best, 2nd best in terms of the stats on this page here to the best within one transfer window, bringing in a few more players instead of focusing on bringing in 2 real big names. We brought in a couple of names who might not be classed as real big names and made them big names in one simple season. A fantastic job for us. Of course, we have got one more season to go, so do not click off the video, but be sure to leave a like. And as always, if you do want to get this rebuild file, you can do so on the Patreon. You can carry on this save as well. It supports me as a creator, helps me carry on making these videos, and also you get over 13 perks, access to all of the stuff from my main channel as well. So go over and check it out in the description below. But carrying on with this rebuild, that aside, we are going to have 29 million after winning the Bundesliga and the Pokal. That's an absolute insult to me, that is. So I'm gonna make sure I do more installments, because I feel like I've been insulted at that point. I need pure cash flow. I need money coming in. I need to be able to spend, because I want to take this team to a Champions League final, or Champions League winners, ideally. So let's get into the 5th transfer window after being insulted and see what we can do. So it is time to wave goodbye to Plea. He has done a lot for the team and I'm going to be forever grateful. But he is 34 years of age. He is going to get his move to the Saudi League. As you can see here, he didn't have a great time last season. But before that, he was very, very consistent. So do you know what? Thank you, Plea, but it's time to move on. Same story goes for Omlin. He had a fantastic reign at this club, but he is going to get his move to Reims, obviously over in the French League. A fantastic goalkeeper, but his time is up. First player coming in, very similar to Enzo Below. He is a player who has not developed too well over this current FM save. That is going to be Paul Vanna, a player who could be either here or up here, depending on how well he plays. And at the moment, he's probably about here. He's in the middle, not been playing too well, but I'm going to try and come in and rescue his career. He's only on £30,000 a week, and he cost me 11 million. For that price tag, I'll take the gamble. Player on the free is going to be Nicolo Zaniolo. Nicolo Zaniolo, I believe that's how you say that. Previously Galatasaray, of course, Villa, Roma and Inter Milan. A lot of time over in Italy. A very experienced winger. Can play on the right and the left-hand side. A leading Bundesliga player on £63,000 a week. He set me back a grand total of £0. Again, a complete £0 signing, as we can see right here, just to prove it, completely on the free, is going to be Ward-Prowse. He offers a lot of stuff, as you can see, perfect corners, perfect free kicks. That alone is a real big reason to sign him, but other than that, a lot of stuff is high up. I mean, work rate's there, stamina's there, natural fitness is there. He is just an absolute unit in midfield. He's absolutely ridiculous. He's still valued at like £30 million at the age of 32. It says a lot about him as a player. 70 grand a week, very versatile. Welcome into the team. We now pick up another previous Villa man as a new goalkeeper, a backup goalkeeper. Obviously, we lost one on the free in Omlin. Welcome Martinez, a fantastic goalkeeper. He is quite old, but to be honest, this is the last season of the rebuild, so I wanted to bring someone in that's pretty much cheap, and it doesn't get much cheaper than someone who is literally free. So for a backup option on 60 grand a week, he's welcome in. £8.5 million, we have gone with sort of a new gem, which I don't usually like to do, but he looks absolutely incredible. 14 acceleration, 14 pace, 11 composure, 16 finishing. He is 18 years of old, and 18 years of age. And even though his composure is 11, you can work with him on this, of course, and improve that. He's incredibly young. He's on 3.1k a week, and he cost me £8.5 million. I have plucked one from the absolute heavens. We also turn and pick up another winger now, really strengthening our options in the middle and on the wing. That is going to be Elise, coming in from Palace. He's a star Bundesliga player on £83,000 a week, which might make you think, Josh, have you put them in bankruptcy? Have you really done damage here? You'll see how much I paid for him in a second, and I would say a fair price tag. 15 acceleration, 14 pace, great decision making, great bit of flair, great crossing, good dribbling, good first touch, good free kicks, good vision as well, very good passing, £83,000 a week, and 22 million. In my opinion, a bit of a steal. And lastly, to really strengthen up the back line, we are going to turn to Frankfurt and pick up Pasho. Coming in, a player who I usually do sign if I can get my hands on him. I love him as a centre-half. Fantastic, 25 years of age, 70 grand a week. He is very quick on the ball, good strength, good anticipation, good bravery, good determination, obviously good tackling, good marking as well. Everything you would want from a very strong centre-back. And he's going to cost me £28 million. So overall, that is going to be a lot of new faces coming into this wonderful team. And the team now looks a little bit like this. So it is going to be Kovar, we've got Bonner, we've got Demira, we've got Pasho, we've got Regulon, we've got Weigl, we've got Ward-Prowse, Sucic, Elise and Bomo and Xerxes. And now the bench is looking pretty stellar. Martinez, we've got to have Ko Ikazahara, we've got Kone, we've got to have Cole Palmer on there, we've got Garcia, we've got Stroik, who still is playing quite well, to be fair, kept his ability as a player. We've got to have Joe Scally, we've got Luca Netz, we've got Zanilo, we've got so many players, we've got Malo, we've got so many players, we've got Luca Netz, we've got Paul Vanna, we've got so many players on this bench and reserves now. This team could potentially win the Champions League, and I'm saying that with full meaning. That could win the Champions League, that first team, and the options on the bench. You can turn to the bench and bring on Zanilo, Paul Vanna, you know, all these sorts of players where a few seasons ago we didn't even have them in the first team. It's an absolute incredible rebuild so far, and we are going to be playing in the Bundesliga, the Champions League, the Pokal and the Super Cup again. They are favouring us to finish inside of third place in the Bundesliga. I'm going to say it right now, the last season, guaranteed, the last and final season, I want to win the Bundesliga, the Pokal and the Super Cup, or the Bundesliga. Actually, let's be fair. The Bundesliga, the Pokal and the Super Cup, or the Champions League, and one of these two. I'll happily sacrifice the Bundesliga for a Champions League at this point. Let's get into the fifth season. Let's see what happens. So first up is going to be the Pokal final against a slightly easier team, and to be honest, we got things going inside of 9 minutes, and it went from strength to strength. 5 minutes after that goal, we go through again, and Elise steps up and gets a headed goal into the bottom right-hand corner to really show his worth in this team. We then go just before half-time, 44 minutes played on the clock. Bonner goes through into Ward-Prowse, into the middle, into Xerxes. Ward-Prowse instantly provide an impact, and one more goal now to wrap up the Pokal final in 4-0 fashion. Ward-Prowse into Sucic, through into Kone, who slots her into the bottom right, trophy won. You're also going to win the Bundesliga title, making it back-to-back seasons very comfortably as well, over Dortmund, Bayern and RB Leipzig. Bayer Leverkusen all the way down in 9th place. Xerxes, the third top goal scorer, Elise and Ward-Prowse in first and joint second. Martinez playing quite a fair few games, clearly, as he picks up the most clean sheets, so that is going to be back-to-back Bundesliga titles. Up next is going to be the Champions League final against Atletico Madrid, and they got off to a bit of a start there with Xavi Simons through to Ivan Toney, of all players. Never thought he'd be there to make it 1-0. We do bounce back though with Ward-Prowse. It's a bit of a scrappy deflection as we are going to win it back again there. Sucic on the turn, a fantastic finish to tie it up in the 46th minute. Unfortunately, 2 minutes after, Akanji into Xavi Simons, over the top into Simone, through one-on-one into the bottom left-hand corner. Not Diego Simone, to clarify that, if anyone is wondering. And they win it now in 3-1 fashion. It's heartbreak. And we also failed to win the Super Cup as we lose on penalties to Bayern Munich. So it is going to be a double winning season to wrap things up. Can I be too annoyed? Not really. Am I a little bit annoyed I didn't win the Champions League because I got there? Yes. We improved in the Champions League so much, so not to win it is a little bit heartbreaking against a team I thought we possibly could have done as well. But overall, it's been a really strong rebuild. We are going to look at that very shortly. But in terms of the stats, we are going to look at the players, and we're talking 33 goals there for Xerxes. Sucic been one incredible signing, 19 and 11 assists, 17 and 24 for Ward-Prowse, a remarkable season from him. Elise, remarkable season. All the new signings really have played very well over these sort of 5 stint seasons, and I will be honest, the team I've left you with, filtered by the best 11, you are going to be looking at, hang on, I misclicked them, go to the best 11, Martinez, Bonner, Demiral, Pacho, Regulon, Weigl, Ward-Prowse, Sucic and Bomo, Elise and Xerxes, some incredible players on the bench. You have been left with a very, very strong team, and of course, you can get this over on the Patreon. Click the link in the description to do so, and go and join the other 4,000 people, and you've still got time to enter the £250 giveaway by joining any paid tier. Now, if you are going to carry this on as well, you're going to have a budget of only £26 million, so you're not going to have too much money to play with, but you have got one hell of a team to play with who can take you very, very far. Now, of course, going to that club info, we are going to go and have a little look right now. If we go into the history and the overview, this is looking a lot more buffed up now. You know, another couple of the Bundesliga titles, of course, another Pokal title. We've done pretty well. This is now on the up by quite some distance as well. I'm very happy with how we've done in this rebuild. Hopefully you've enjoyed. If you have, please do leave a like, subscribe to the channel, it's completely free, and turn on notifications. And if you do want to see more rebuilds, comment right now 1 to 2 teams you want to see. I'm going to write down a big list of them and chisel away one by one. I love doing the rebuilds at the moment. I love the feedback I'm getting. You seem to be liking them. It means the absolute world. Have a great rest of your day. I'll be seeing you in the next one.